Let's see, I got these top three flopped down here. And here's the nice flat area on these. Okay, and then it's all wrinkled on this end here, and that's what I wanted. So all my wrinkles are facing that direction. And so this will be as smooth as possible, you know? Okay, now I can measure those. See, now I measure from left to right, not from right to left like I did these. I'll measure right to the middle here, and over for those and stuff. And I still have to raise those. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to raise those now before I do these up here. And see, before I tape this, I'm going to pull this over just a hair more than middle, because the other piece is going to be over to the middle. So I can pull this over a little bit further like that. So when I get this other piece on, I'll pull it into the middle and tape it, because I don't want to go from the middle in the middle and not have an overlap. I want a slight white overlap, just enough so that I don't see any of the metal showing, you know, when I get all done. Okay? All right. Think about your project and measure properly. Man, that still bugs me about that bottom. I never would have known that until now. I thought no matter whenever they build everything, I thought all the panels would be the same for, you know, if it's an 8-foot door, a 9-foot door, a 10-foot door, and then if it was a 10-foot door, the panels would just have to be, you know, depending on where the next one fits, they would have separated all those and made all of them nice and even. Man, I really didn't know about that. I wish I would have. So don't forget to check your bottom panel. Is your bottom panel created the same as your others? I don't know. It may not be, or it may be, okay? So check it out. My loss is your gain. Okay, I still have to install that last one. I have to carefully measure it and figure it all out. But remember, when I flip these around and measure them, then I have to measure these. When I flipped them, this is the finished edge up here. So I measured from the top down to the center of each one of those instead of the bottom up. Over here, I went to the bottom up because when I flip these around, the finished edge on these four are facing down. The finished edge on these four are facing up. Okay, so I wanted to make sure I measured off of there just in case you get off and your line is all squiggly at the bottom. It may not be a perfectly straight line, so that way when you measure, you could slightly get off of here, but these should still fit. I mean, there's plenty of room around on those, okay? And then on this, I had to notch the white plastic around this and tucked it in there. And then I'll trim this off before I tape, and then I'll have to figure out what I want to do on these corners. I may have to trim this a couple times and figure out exactly where I want this trimmed, and then take this, fold it back and kind of sneak it up in there. You know what I mean? That way I come out straight from this point. I want to come out straight from this point, not wrapped around like this and then kind of go like that. And then I've got this edge. I've got this edge there. I want this to be nice and straight. You know what I mean? Okay. I could even cut it just below that if I want to put a piece of tape there, or not. You know, I don't think I really need to. I can run the tape up above this a little bit and finish it over. And see, that's why I had this wrinkly spot over here. I didn't want to flip-flop them around. I wanted to have as nice as bits as possible here. I mean, granted, all of this is going to have wrinkles to a certain extent. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? But it's okay. When I get done, it's going to look nice. And all the people said, amen. Hey, well, I got her. You can't even really tell down there. I still have to kind of poke some in there. I still have to finish. And now it's about pushing stuff in, making sure this stuff is tight. trimming this back, and I'm going to start over on this side, the left-hand side, remember, and I'm going to pull it over a little bit further than half, so I can kind of pull this over like that, pull it over, and tape it. Okay, might be able to tape little pieces at a time without Mommy being here. If I do one there, one there, one there, get this across, and then tape. Although it would be easier if you had somebody helping you, like for these. When I pull this over, I can pull it over. See this one here. After I get it trimmed and made sure I've split the difference, then after I trim it, I can pull it, you know, and keep it tight, and then she could tape it maybe. See, it's going to be kind of tricky for me to do it. I could do it little pieces at a time. Pull that over, put one little piece there, pull this over, put one little piece there, and then go back and stuff. And you see how to cut it just straight. All of this insulation would show. And I was explaining it to Mommy, and she says, I don't care if the insulation shows. And I says, well, I do, because you're defeating the purpose, especially when the garage door goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Every time it goes up and the car is parked in here, guess what? You get little bits of insulation flying around. If I got that in the, do you see all those sparkly things right there? That's just from that. See all the sparklies? Every time the garage door goes up and every time it comes back down, I'm going to get all of that stuff coming down in my room. You can see it, see? And I don't want to have any of that. That's why I'm going to seal this up completely with the way I showed you. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. Oh, I wanted to show you my shipping holder. See this one here? This one's hard to use because you have to pull it out, and then it's designed, when you push on this on a box, it's designed for this to kick out and for the cutter to stick out and then trim this off. I don't like to do it when I'm just doing small little things. And so you've seen these little plastic ones, haven't you? Like this. And this came with something else on it. I think it had regular shipping tape on it. Here's some brown shipping tape that was on this, and I pulled that off. This plastic thing is designed, it's split right there. It's designed to be pulled off, and then I can just, on the back side, I can just kind of hold it like that, tear it off. See, I can just have my finger right there. And if I just want a little piece, that's all I'm going to have. And it's all set up for the next one. I just grab it with my finger and pull on it. Okay, this works way better. I like using this even for boxing up boxes and stuff. I really don't like this one as much. Lots of times when I use this, I actually pull it out and then do that. But then see, sometimes then this rolls onto the roller, then you have to pull it off because this is designed to stick up further. So you're all ready for your box. You know, it's kind of hard to explain, but I really don't like these as much. I kind of do that so it doesn't stick all the way on there. You have a heck of a time trying to peel that off and stuff. So this one here, Mommy's had this forever. She's had this in her office, and she uses this all the time. I just don't like these. I much prefer this one right here, the cheap average Joe way. Yeah. All right, time to get busy. And speaking of all the insulation bits that are flying around that I showed you earlier, I've got my cell phone out here, and I use Pandora for music and stuff. I leave that over there, and I really shouldn't be showing video with all the sparkly stuff, the insulation, because it can mess up my lens and stuff, and I try my best to keep it at a minimum. Okay, so just be mindful of that. And if you're working up over your head, get your goggles on. I haven't been using my goggles because my goggles get fogged up when I have my dust mask on, so it's kind of a happy medium. Oh, here's my goggles right over here, see? This is what I call my goggles. And if I just put these on halfway, it's better than nothing, you know. Kind of let it stick out so I don't get them fogged up. There's a trick on keeping your goggles like this from fogging up. Now I forget what it is. I think it's if you put soapy water on your lenses and then rinse them off or something. Then I don't think they fog up. Google how to prevent goggles from fogging up, and you'll find that. I should probably find that myself for next time I'm out here. But this is okay. If I was doing this underneath a house or something all day long or something like that, yeah. But I only got this above. I could use my little ladder to get up higher so that the stuff filters down. So I'm not working up high, looking up and having to get in my face, my eyes and all that. Work safe rather than sorry. You know, I'm still working on this, but Momi came out here a little while ago and she said, you know what? It actually feels warmer already. And actually, I wasn't even paying attention. I just thought it was hot and sweaty and because I've been working, and I'm standing up here looking at it right now thinking that yes, in fact, it is a lot warmer out here now. And you see how nice I'm finishing that up? Just got the tape on there. Trim it, you know, nicely with my scissors and stuff. And then I fold over the white on the back side, you know, over the top before I push it in like that. Because you got to leave, these are your hinges. You got to leave that little bit for when it rolls up. As it goes up, you gotta have that out, and you know, I hope it rolls up. I don't think I'm gonna have any issue with it. I'm just trying to think how this thing, when it goes up, how that slides, and I think there must be something in there that makes that slide or something. Boy, I'm gonna have to hold my breath after I do that, hoping that it's not going to be affected as it goes up there. I don't really think it's going to. I mean, obviously this isn't going to have any issue, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to have any problem. Okay, we'll soon find out. All right. Ooh-wee. Well, can you believe it? I am all done. See how nice I've got it along the sides. I taped that, and this stuff wasn't sticking very well, so when I put the tape over there, then I put another long row over here and folded it over the edge by about 3/8 of an inch, and that should keep it down. And see, doesn't that look nice? Here I've got that there, and like I say, I'll leave this clear tape on there, and later on down the road, if I want to get some white duct tape or something, I could always do that carefully and put a nice piece right over there, or a double piece or something like that if I feel I need to or anything. See how you just take your time. Now you see why I measured this over further and had the insulation cut back so that I could pull that over and tape that. I'm liking that. And it actually does feel a lot warmer, okay? So now I've got a dumpster here. We're at the condo. And there's a dumpster on property. I'll throw all this stuff over there, and then I'll sweep up, and it will look like I was never here. Ooh-wee. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos, and I don't know what I'm gonna talk about next time. You'll just have to watch and find out. Well, hey, I hope you learned something on this video. Oh, just so you know, I did run the door up. Everything's fine. You just have to make sure not to cover those. If you see a hinge there, something like that, that's why I notched those out of there. Okay, you don't want to mess those up. And the thing runs up and down just fine. I just rolled up the door. See, that's why you've got to have those things in there and stuff, because when it rolls up, you don't want the middle to pucker down and stuff. And basically, I just free-formed it, cut it long, and then I've got it taped at the ends. I don't have anything on the joints here, up there. The only thing that's holding it are those little buttons. Okay, 2 of them per panel. Hey, that turned out peachy. You know what I'm going to do too? Before I throw this away, I think I'm going to peel off some of the white bits. I might as well save that just in case I ever get a rip on this. Okay? Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll save all those back pieces, roll them up, and put them up in the attic in case I ever need this little bit right here. Alrighty. Now here's another tip for you. See, I'm just going to save this stuff. I'm going to roll it up or fold it or whatever on all the different pieces, and the insulation. You know, if you have an attic or if you have an attic area, you can throw this all up in your attic. Well, I don't have an attic per se that I can crawl around in, so I think I'm going to end up throwing this insulation away. But if you do have an attic, throw it up there. Don't throw it in the trash. Hey, there's 3 there, 3 there. That's I had 18 panels, or 8 panels, but I used the full ones at the bottom, remember? And so I just rolled it up and put a little piece of tape on there, and then I folded the tape over, and that way I can grab it for later. And then I'll save that. I'll save my gloves. I'll save those. And I think I only had 2 of these left. And I'll save my gloves and that extra piece there. Okay. And I can use these gloves for something else. I could even use that tape for something else. Who knows? All right. Okay. Well, that's all for this time. Glad you joined me.